Hi, I'm Stephanie with Big River, and we're going to be discussing shoe categories today. Now, before we get into the fun part of actually discussing the shoes, we're going to also make sure that we discuss a little bit about arch and then pronation. Now, when you're looking at shoes, there's three main categories for shoes. You have neutral, guidance or stability, and then motion control. Now, with those three types of shoes, there's going to be certain features that are found uniquely in each category. When we're looking at those categories, we want to make sure that we're fitting you up with your arch and your pronation. So with arch, there's three types of foot structures or arch types. One is a medium arch, high arch, and then low arch. That has a lot to do with pronation. Now, pronation is basically flexing. Everyone's arch, just like my hand, needs to flex just a little bit. It's kind of like exercise. Exercising is really good for your body, but if we do too much exercise or too little exercise, we get into problems. So with someone with a neutral arch or medium arch, they're just doing a nice, healthy flex. And their type of foot structure will meet more of a neutral shoe. With the neutral shoe category, you're going to have tons of cushion, kind of going through all the midsole, and the midsole is going to be the guts of the shoe. So we're going to make sure we have tons of padding to kind of absorb that impact for you. Now with that cushion, it can be a firmer or a softer cushion. So it can either make something to where you sink into it or it kind of springs you forward. Second type of foot structure is a lower arch. With a lower arch, someone's foot structure is over-pronating, so it's over-flexing to where we're starting to rotate in a little bit towards that big toe. And that, what it can do is it can pull your ankle and your knee out of alignment, especially if you're on your feet or doing a lot of pounding or exercising a good bit. With those types of foot structures, there's two kind of categories they can run into. One, it can be someone that needs something with guidance or stability. And with guidance or stability, you're either getting a lot of support just on one side with a stability shoe, or the new way, or a newer kind of technique, is having support on both sides, to where it's kind of cradling your heel and kind of trying to not overcorrect, whether you go inward or outward actually. Now, the last one we're going to talk about, since I talked about outward, is a high arch. High arches their foot structure is not pronating enough or not flexing, so they're supinating. So with them, their arch isn't flexing at all to where they're putting a lot of weight outward towards that pinky toe. With that type of foot structure, we can kind of run into a lot of problems with them kind of creating unalignment with their ankles and their knees, but doing the opposite way towards the pinky. And so with those types of foot structures, we can go kind of two categories. One can be that neutral shoe we just talked about with tons of cushion, or something that's more of a motion control shoe. With a motion control shoe, we're going to usually have a nice broad base to it, and that support is going to be on both sides to where it's really trying to prevent motion outward or inward.